Hey, hello. My name's Pickle Rick, and this is just a little demo to show people or to demonstrate how important it is to control your speed through the lower atmosphere. I got this rocket here, and it's just something I threw together for giggles. It's got a lot of drag, right? And it has two balls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the thrust at full throttle, and I'm going to try to take this thing up and pitch it over to get to orbit. Now, to do that, so I can have repeatable control, I'm gonna use a mod called K2D2, which is basically MechJeb for KSP2, and I'm gonna go to the liftoff. And the only thing I'm going to use it for is so that I can control my throttle right here, right? So in this first launch, I'm not going to touch the throttle at all. We're going to try to take this thing off and pitch over, and you'll see what happens. So ready, go.
زيك وسك
When we get to 25 meters per second, I'll make a 90-degree roll. When we get to 100 to 1,000 meters high, I'll attempt to start pitching over. We'll cook the turn there. Not the other way. Okay, now we're oscillating. It's okay, we're not to 1,000 yet. Okay, now I'll start to pitch. Watch what happens when my velocity gets over 250 meters per second. Might not even get to that point. I'm only at 147, 149, and tumble we go. Let's do that again. I know I can get higher. I started to pitch over too much too early. So it's always going to do that. Well, I could have controlled it if I didn't slow it down. Let's over to launch, and we'll do that again. Okay. This time I'll control it a little better. I keep turning my head to face the mic. It's on the side, on my side, and I keep thinking I have to face it. Okay, and by the way, let me just quickly check here. I'm shooting for 80 kilometers. Okay. Hide the profile. So 80-kilometer orbit for something this big is pretty aggressive. So once again, we'll try it again. No mech jump this time. I'm trying just manually, full throttle, control it. Second, I'm going to try to start slowly pitching over. Okay, 140 meters per second. She's starting to want to lose it. Back up again. Getting real squirrely. 175, and she's pretty much out of control. Okay. So let's revert one more time. This time we'll use MechJeb, and I'm just going to use MechJeb's throttle control. So revert to launch. So manual controls are just too laggy with this design. So I'm going to do the first MechJeb launch. I'm not going to try to touch the throttle. I'm going to let it try to control the pitch over. And this will show that at full throttle is just impossible even for an AI to do. So once again, we will start this time, and then we'll launch. And now MechJeb is going to try to pitch this over. It's going to try to use this profile right here. Right? 45 degrees, it wants to be at 35 kilometers, and at 51 kilometers, it wants to be at 5 degrees above the horizon. That's its target. So let me, you gotta manually that's all I did manually. I don't need this profile anymore. 142. This is where I started to lose it. So MechJev is still able to control it here, but I'm still burning at 100%. Watch what happens when I start getting close to 200 and over 250 meters per second, and it tries to start pitching over. So it's trying to pitch now, and I'm at 212, 219, 220, 229. Let's see where how far it can go before it loses it. So now over 250. So now it's going to start to struggle with 100% throttle. Especially now that it's starting to lose thrust. And there it goes. Bye-bye. Full thrust, can't control. Over we go. Tumbly. Okay. Oh, and let's look. And at that point I was at like 300, I was in the high 300s on the velocity. So let's, once again, one last time. This is the last one. We'll revert to launch, and then all I'm going to do now is I'm going to maintain. I'm going to make learn to speak words. I'm going to control the speed as it approaches 250 meters per second. So we're going to start this again. And launch. Shoot back out. Roll once again. MechJev's controlling it. I'm manually just doing the roll here. Okay. So roll complete. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to watch the velocity over here, but I'm going to control it with the slider over here. Starts to approach 200, I'm going to start lowering the velocity. There we go. I'm going to keep it lower than 250 until, see my altitude here? I'm going to wait until it gets through this middle blue band and not let it go over 250 meters per second. Now it lost control once it started dropping boosters, so let's see if it can manage now. Lowering the throttle. Lowering the throttle. There we go. Two stages gone. First stage is gone. Still. 200. I'm increasing the throttle a little bit here now because we're dropping since we lost thrust. But this is where we lost it last time, right? So I'm staying below 250 here, and it's managing to continue to pitch over properly, right? And we're in the middle of the blue band now. Once I get through the middle blue band, what I'm going to do is focus my attention down here, and I want to look at my time to apoapsis, which is 25 seconds now. I want to let that get to about 50 seconds away, and then I don't want to change it anymore. I'm creeping over 250, that's okay now. I'm in that third blue band, so I can start throttling back up again. So basically we just throttled down through max Q is what we did. Maximum dynamic pressure. Now I'm just looking at this time. I'm letting it climb until it gets to, in fact, I could throttle up now. And as soon as that gets to about 50 seconds, I'll start throttling back down again and try to maintain 50 seconds away from the apoapsis. continues to climb, it does, I'll throttle back a little more. If it continues to climb, it goes down, I'll throttle back up a little bit. So I jiggle this around till we zero in on holding the same velocity, or the same distance from my apoapsis. Because what we want to do is we want to push the apoapsis, or we want to push the sides of our orbit out. We don't want to just keep pushing our apoapsis up so we get a big spike. 52, so it's still wanting to go down a little bit, but I'm over 50 seconds away, so I can let it go down, drop below. That's okay. It's 51, 50. So now I need to add a little more throttle. Throttle. Actually, with one engine, I know from experience I've got to go all the way up to max throttle, because even at max throttle, it's going to have trouble. So we're at 47. We're going to keep dropping down. As long as we don't reach 0, we'll be fine, and it's dropping weight as it's burning fuel, so it will begin to accelerate. But right now I'm staying at 100. 41. And if it does start to keep going down too much, you can always fix it by pitching up. Right now I'm just pitching up. Pitch up until you start to see you're closing on the AP again. There we go, 38. Now I'm fighting against MechJump, so it keeps wanting to pull me down, but I'm at 40. 41, keep going, 42, 43. Now this is causing steering losses in performance, but that's okay. Oh, I'm back to 50 again. Now I can reduce the throttle again. And watch it to see if it starts to go down or up. Down to 32%. Did that just go up one? It is. So I'm going to come down more. I'm going to go down to 17%. Right? This is where you just have to be patient. But this is the most efficient use of your fuel to get to orbit. Now, once my velocity starts getting closer to 2,300 meters per second, it's not going to be able to be controlled anymore. It's going to just keep pushing the AP and the PE away at the same time. But I'll just keep going here. I won't go any lower than 15%. And we're at 78, and we're at 2,100 meters per second. This will start to accelerate the closer this starts getting to orbital velocity. Right, I can go down to 15%. Can't control it from here. It's separate from the vector control. So now it's starting to climb, and I can't really go. I don't want to go much lower, so we'll just let it do its thing. It's at 21, 20, and we're accelerating now. The rate that we start to climb will start to accelerate rapidly. 70 velocity. Got a ton of fuel left. I can get this thing to orbit manually, but I just can't respond fast enough, and I can get there, but I'll end up in orbit with half the fuel that I end up with if I do it this way. There's 76, 77, and there it goes. We've hit cutoff, so I can stop this now. Boink, boink. And what I can do is manually, but I want to show you the numbers. So if I hit flight plan here now, I pull this over here, and I hit K2D2 again. I should have closed it. I go back to node here, and I say, make me an orbit at circularize at the apoapsis. So I'll click this, and it just created an orbit for me, and I only need 20 delta V to circularize this orbit, and I can let I can let Charlie take it by clicking this guy here. Right. So I don't need this stage because, you know, I don't want to leave this garbage in orbit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate now. There we go. And now I'll only use 20 delta V out of this upper stage to circularize my orbit. So I put that out here so you can see. And you can see the periapsis is below 70K, so that backstage is going to deorbit. I won't leave trash. And all we need is 29. Right now, my AP is at 80 and my PE. No, it's saying 880 here. I don't know why, because I'm actually only... Oh, no, this is showing my target. There it is. Now it's burning. There we go. And I can actually... I would have normally ditched the fairing at 50 kilometers, but I'll do it now. There we go. There's our ship in an 80-kilometer orbit, the big gigantic double balled. This ship is really designed to go to Joule, and it has a sniffer at the top to go into the atmosphere and sniff the atmosphere, and then it's got 3 relay satellites that it's going to put into a resonant 2/3 orbit. So that was the purpose of this video, guys. I just wanted to show you that sometimes using MechJeb is helpful. You still have to do some manual control and control. And the other important thing, the main thing, was showing that in order to make your ship not flip, you don't want to be going too fast in the thicker atmosphere. So slowing down to 250. Below 250 meters per second until your altitude goes through this blue region here, this middle blue region. That's the area of highest dynamic pressure. So thanks for watching. Till we meet again, everybody stay cool.